Hello everyone, Darkizer here, welcoming you to another of my Fallout 4 survival videos. Today's video is going to be my top 10 magazine picks for Fallout 4 survival. These magazine picks would probably be useful to almost anyone playing Fallout 4, whether they're in the new survival mode or not. But some of these magazines are particularly useful with the new changes to the survival mode. This first pick is going to seem a little obvious, but for those of you that have missed it, there is a special book on the floor of Sean's bedroom in your house when you first get to Sanctuary Hills. I've actually seen a lot of players that have missed this book because they just go racing into the content, they go racing into the game after they get it started, and so they miss that one. And then, of course, clicking on that book, all that will do is give you a bonus of +1 point to any one stat of your choosing. The second magazine on my list is located at the WRVR broadcast station. This is south of Sanctuary Hills quite a ways. You can find it by following the river on the west side. And we go inside. And you'll find the magazine. This is Live and Love, issue number 3. This book grants you a permanent +10 carry weight to your companions. Now, given that in the new survival mode, both you and your companions have greatly reduced carry weight, anything that will give you a bonus of carry weight, I consider to be definitely worthwhile. The fact that you can come in here and take this magazine without having to fight anything, I also consider to be a big plus. The only 2 people that you will find here are the staff at the radio station, and you do not necessarily have to kill anyone to get the magazine. Continuing with our Live and Love magazine series, the next magazine we're looking for is going to be located in Good Neighbor. Good Neighbor is close to downtown Boston, and it is relatively easy to find. You will be stumbling across it relatively easily. One of the ways that you can find it is to listen to the Silver Shroud radio broadcasts, which you will be hearing as you move about parts of the Commonwealth. Now, once you get to Good Neighbor, you'll make your way to the Rexford Hotel. I beg your pardon, the Hotel Rexford. Hotel Rexford, very nice place. There are a couple of opportunities for a couple of sidebar quests here. On the left-hand side as you walk in, the right-hand side as you walk in, you will see a bar, and you will see a copy of Live and Love, issue number 8. This magazine grants you a permanent +5% XP while traveling with a companion, which you're likely to be doing anyway. I consider that to be a good bonus. And like the last magazine, you don't have to kill anybody to get here. All you have to do is come to Good Neighbor, walk into the Hotel Rexford, and pick it up off of the bar. Our next magazine is going to be located at Watts Consumer Electronics. This is a goodly distance to the southeast from Sanctuary Hills, a little bit ways along the river, a little bit past Massachusetts Gravel and Sand. I've taken the liberty of going to and clearing all of these locations so that I can give you directions without having to worry about getting myself killed in the process. And it would appear that I still have to worry about possibly getting killed in the process. We still have some shooting going on. Now, Watts Consumer Electronics is a good site to come to if you have invested in the Automatron DLC anyway, there's a large amount of electronic swag, and after you get done defeating all of the robot enemies, then there is also quite a bit of robot salvage. Now, after you've managed to clear the place, you come down to the basement. This door opens with the terminal, however, you do not have to worry about having any levels of hacker to crack that terminal. And we have our copy of Total Hack number 1. This includes the Protectron hacking source code. So now what this does is this gives you control over Protectrons. And I am going to go and locate a Protectron and give you an example of exactly what that means. Okay, here we are in the Boston Public Library. What we've done is we have read the Total Hack magazine, and what this has done is this has given us a cartridge that we can play on our Pip-Boy, which is known as the Protectron Override program. And once you play this, you have the options to disengage the safety sensors. You also have the option of overriding the alliance parameters. Targeting parameters have been erased and set to admin user group. And now you will see that all of the Protectrons in the area, and I'm going to try to run around here and not get shot by the super mutants, all of the Protectrons in the area are green to me, so they are listed as allies of mine. Our next magazine is going to be found at the Wildwood Cemetery. This is, as you can see on the map, there's Sanctuary, so it's just a little ways east of Sanctuary, just past the Bedford Station and the Rotten Landfill. Now, we're going to do this one in a stealthy manner, because we don't want to necessarily wake up every single ghoul in the place and have to fight them all. You will notice that there are several trees in the cemetery. This one off on the left-hand side is surrounded by glowing fungus, and this is the one that we're going to be looking for. And here, laying on the ground at the foot of the tree, we're going to find Total Hack issue number 3, which is similar to Total Hack number 1, except for the fact that we can now control turrets instead of Protectrons. This next magazine is going to be located in the Boston Mayoral Shelter, which is, here is Sanctuary. It's going to be located on the extreme western side of the map, and it's pretty far down. So we're getting into an area that's going to be more than a bit hostile. There's the Fort Hagan satellite array. For those of you that are playing in the Automatron DLC, the Fort Hagan satellite array is going to be very familiar to you, so the Boston Mayoral Shelter is just south of that. Here we are at the site. And all in all, can be a pretty gruesome location. Lots of sadness and heartache went on here. You cannot actually get into the site directly. You have to come up here and use the terminal to open the door. That has been a source of great frustration for quite a few players who have come here and just stumbled upon the site, and then they come in and find the door, and it says lock requires a key. So everyone promptly starts frantically searching around looking for a key, when you can actually open it from the terminal up at the control station instead. Now, this magazine is going to be located on one of the lower levels, and as you can see, there is quite a bit of extensive work that took place here. We go through the security gate, which to be perfectly honest, was not terribly secure because we could just get in. Elevator down. We're going to come through another security area, turrets and so forth. It's actually very well fortified and not at all easy to get into, so it is something of a slog. We move through the bar sitting area. We're going to come back here to what is probably the children's bedroom, what with the teddy bears and so forth, and we're going to find Astoundingly Awesome Tales Issue 1. Reading this comic allows you to regenerate 1 point of health per minute. 1 point of health per minute may not seem like a lot, but in the new survival settings, players will have to remember that you are going to want to hoard your stim packs for combat purposes. If you happen to be out in the wasteland and you encounter a mole rat or the occasional hound of some kind and you take a small amount of damage, the lack of fast travel means that healing is going to be somewhat harder to come by. Also, the fact that you require food to take care of your hunger requirement as well as recovering your health points means that anything that you can have that will help you recover health for free is a big plus. I would rather have something like this to help me slowly regenerate small losses in health due to the occasional encounter out in the wasteland than to have to waste food to recover my health when I'm not hungry. Next on our tour, we have the Egret Tours Marina. This is located south and slightly west of Diamond City. This is a potential settlement point as well as being the location of our next magazine. The magazine itself is located out here. I should mention that there are quite a few booby traps in the area. I should say there were before I stumbled across all of them on the way in here the first time. There were quite a few booby traps located outside and in the boathouse, so do please be careful. We're going to come into the diner, and I did mention booby traps. And over here in the corner we have our Wasteland Survival Guide, issue number 3. Reading this gives you permanently 50% healing from irradiated packaged food and drink. One of the reasons why I consider this to be important is because of the fact that, again, we have so many different kinds of food in the Commonwealth that are already irradiated. But for instance, we have the Fancy Lad snack cakes, we have some cram, we have some potato crisps, and so on and so forth. There are going to be times under the new survival mode when you are hungry and you simply don't have any non-irradiated food to eat. And rather than suffer the effects of hunger, particularly once you get to the point where you are starving and your special stats are really taking a hit, it might be better to go ahead, bite the bullet, and eat some of the irradiated food and take a couple of rads. Now, as you can see, some of these things, such as the mac and cheese, 6 rads for 30 hit points worth of healing, and cram is 5 rads for 37 hit points of healing, which might be one of the reasons why cram can actually get you a much better price when you are selling that to merchants. Now, this does not extend to fruits and vegetables. So melon would not give you any extra health benefit, nor will Mirelurk meat or the mutant hound meat or anything like that. Next on our hit parade, we have the Nahant Oceanological Society. And this is the extreme eastern side of the map. I think this is the easternmost point that you can get to without actually swimming. While there is quite a bit of swag located in the research lab itself, there are also one or more Mirelurks located in the basement, so do be careful there. The magazine itself is located here in the office. However, when you first approach, since you will probably be approaching from the land side, you will be approaching this door. And this is not a hazardous location outside. There are not a wealth of booby traps or anything like that, but it is quicker to come around to the back door here if you're just looking for the magazine. Now, this Mr. Handy is actually an instructor, and you can speak to him. He's not very communicative, but if you come to the desk, where is it? The one with the typewriter. There we are. But he's conveniently standing in front of. We have our Wasteland Survival Guide number 6. We were just talking about purchasing prices from food and drink vendors. But now that we have the food and drink requirements for the new survival guide, any discount that you can get from food or drink vendors, I consider that to be a plus. Again, this is one of those locations that you don't have to necessarily do a bunch of fighting to get to, which I consider to also be a plus. Some of you may already be familiar with is the old Gullet Sinkhole. Now, this is located quite a distance to the east from Sanctuary Hills, but it is located more towards the northern end of the map, so it's not as dangerous trying to get to this location. The real danger comes when you actually get to the location. The old Gullet Sinkhole is basically exactly what it says. It's a tremendous sinkhole that opened up presumably after the missiles impacted and pipes were burst under the ground, which caused a tremendous amount of flooding and erosion. Now, if you are lucky, or if you are very, very sneaky, you can actually get around into the sinkhole without having to fight Old Gullet. Old Gullet, of course, being a Doomclaw. Now, once you get into the water, unless you're a very good swimmer, I don't think that you're going to be able to get back out. The water will sweep you down into the sinkhole itself. We, of course, have an unfortunate raider here, and it looks like someone was attempting to use this as a hideout. I cannot imagine anyone using this area as a hideout for too terribly long, but there you have it. Now, here next to the fire pit, we have Wasteland Survival Guide number 7, and this allows you to permanently swim 25% faster. I have this on my list not because I think that a lot of people are going to be thinking about taking Aqua Boy or Aqua Girl because of all of the new changes to the survival difficulty level. There are going to be times where being able to swim 25% faster is just going to help out. If you are fleeing from a superior enemy, and that's going to happen a lot more often while you're in survival mode, by the way, there are going to be times where discretion is the better part of valor and you're going to want to retreat. You may have to flee, and fleeing into or across water may be your only option. Our last location, and one of the 2 easiest to actually reach, Sunshine Tidings Co-op. And I very much like this location. It's just south of the Abernathy farm. It's just south of Sanctuary Hills, just south of the lake. It's very easy to reach. There are a few ghouls and a couple of rad roaches scattered around the area. The ghouls will only attack you if you actually go into the buildings. They are mostly laying around playing dead. The rad roaches are located in the buildings as well. So outside, you're fine. This is another great location for the Automatron DLC, since the Free the Robot sign and so on and so forth. This is also another potential settlement location. Now, I came down from the north. That's how most people will be getting here, depending on which direction you take. And then we're going to come to this house up at the top of the hill. And over here in the corner next to the industrial trunk, we are going to find Wasteland Survival Guide number 9. And this permanently allows you to collect extra meat from animal kills. And again, in survival, the new survival mode, collecting meat that you can then cook from anything that you happen to kill, this is going to be a big plus. And this includes mole rats, any of the numerous forms of bloatflies, other insects. Rad stag hunting is going to become an actual viable method of sustaining yourself in the new survival mode, since rad stags will generally give you rad stag meat, which is very popular. Once you cook it, you can make rad stag steaks with it, and consuming a rad stag steak will give you a bonus to your carry weight, plus 25 carry weight for an hour. This is the perfect thing to have with you, not only if you're hungry, but once you get done clearing out the enemy stronghold or whatever position that you happen to have just got done with, and you find out that you're going to be over encumbered trying to drag all of your crap home. Go ahead, munch on a rad stag steak, up your carry weight by 25 pounds, take care of any hunger that you happen to have, and then that gives you an opportunity to try to get someplace where you can store your swag, possibly sleep and save the game, so on and so forth. So, those are my top 10 picks for magazines that you can pick up in the new survival mode of Fallout 4. I want to thank you for joining me. I hope that this has been fun and educational for everyone. I have included links to my Fallout 4 survival series. I currently have 2 survival series running. One is very role-play oriented, and the character is spec'd specifically to take advantage of most of the Automatron DLC. The other character, the other playthrough, is much more narrated and much more of a tutorial or a how to play kind of situation. But I will have the links to both of those located in the comment section. As always, likes are appreciated and subscriptions doubly so. This has been Darkhizer. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night.